All right, so I said we were gonna do some videos for everybody, since obviously we can't train, and I know everybody's going nuts at home, including me and Sam and JD behind the camera. I don't really care about personal space right now. I'm touching Sam. So what we're going to go over is some of the stuff that I was planning on going over last week, this week, and we'll kind of go over what I was planning on going over for the next week, since it looks like we're going to be closed next week, more than likely too, since we have to be closed till the 7th. So we're going to go over taking the vacuum turtle, first entry. So the first one, number one, is when I'm attacking turtle, I don't want to be hip to hip with the person. I always want to have my knee at Sam's ankle, okay? I always want to be back low towards their hips. I don't want to be too high over their back, draping too high, because I don't want Sam to roll, and I don't want to end up being on the bottom. So when I start, I want to be controlling his hips. My knee is always at his ankle. And I want to control his knee, almost like I'm in a referee's position in wrestling. So when I start, I want to take his back. My outside kickstand knee is going to wedge into this hole. I'm going to start getting my seatbelt grip, so my top hand is going to climb in, and it's going to come down over Sam's shoulders. I'm going to try and go to the far armpit and grab it with my other hand. And it's going to grab like a fist, stabbing Sam into the chest. And I hold that knife into place with my other hand. My kickstand is going to come in, and I'm going to try and bring that knee and pinch it together onto Sam's thigh. Now, my back leg is going to drive Sam's head to the floor, almost like I'm taking a table leg out. Once I'm there, I start to drive and fall on my hip, and I extend that bottom leg, and I get my hook. I keep my grips on that seatbelt grip, and then my top leg comes over, and I get my secondary hook. That's where you stop. Turn this way, please. This way. So, knee and the ankle. I start with this hand on the hip, and this hand's at the elbow. Number one, for self-defense purposes, I want this hand here so Sam can't reach back and elbow me in the face. Okay? I want to hold that elbow. Now when it's time to go, I come up, I bring this hand over, and if it, again, self-defense purposes or fight purpose, MMA, I'm going to strike him, soften him up, and then come down. And that's when I start to climb my thigh in, my knee pinches, at the knee, at the thigh, and that's when I take this back leg and I drive Sam's head to the floor. I sit on my hip and I extend my leg. This top foot, I use a heavy heel and I open Sam's hips up. That's when I get my seatbelt grip and my good hooks. I never, ever, ever cross my feet unless my feet are above Sam's hips. Okay? I can do a figure 4 body lock if you want, or what I prefer is I take my other foot, and I'll roll Sam this way to you. I take my bottom leg and I go across Sam's hip, and I take my top foot and I go to my own heel, and I pinch my knees together. And I feel that's just as good as crossing my feet or doing a figure 4 body lock, but I have more mobility in my own legs. So one more time. So my knee is at Sam's ankle. I'm not hip to hip, and I'll show that later on the escapes. I'm not hip to hip on him. Knee at the ankle. I'm controlling Sam's elbow. I go down at the overhook and I go to the seatbelt grip. My knee pinches in and I drive my weight down over his shoulder. I set my first hook. I go over top and I get good hooks with my heavy heel. I open Sam's hips up. I set my hook and I get good seatbelt grip. Now, one thing, once I get here,
when you get your seatbelt grip, you have two options when it comes to your finishing point when you take the back. I can either bring my seatbelt grip, my hands to the armpit, which when it comes here, it's very difficult to break this grip because now Sam has to try and fight the hands that are under his armpit, which is hard to find the hands. Or I can do what we call the Danaher grips, which is I try to grab the pinky here, and I go underneath Sam's chin, and I start to attack the neck, and I grab at the trap. Now this starts to do the back attack system, where I go over the arm, and I start to work the strangles.
So that's number one. I'll show you number two in a second.